I'm going, the guy's saying, well, wow, you're coming out here. Why? Well, I want to see animals. I want to see this. And he said, you seen any elephants yet? I go, no. He goes, oh, okay, watch this. He turns left or whatever, goes over a wall. I go, what are we doing? He says, you'll see. And then he all of a sudden spot this whole herd of elephants. We come down right over the top, and I mean, it's just like out of, the magazines or whatever. It's just so cool. Anyway, so I thanked him for that, gave him a tip, I'm sure, and we went to, we finally landed. As we're coming onto the landing strip, he goes, here's the hardest part. The monkeys here don't understand what I'm doing. I'm landing, and they see something coming, and they want to come out and greet you. Well, hell, I can't. I got to land. So they come right onto the runway, and sure enough, there they were, these big monkeys. So I'm going, my God, this is crazy. And he came down, kind of bounced a couple times, and they kind of ran, and we landed. So that was nice. So, but it was an unbelievable place to visit. In the world, there are more mosques than any place else in the world. And so there's 400 of them, I think, if I remember. This is a very, very small island. But anyway, it was kind of cool to go there. There's only donkeys. I can walk around the most beautiful beaches in the world. They had dhows there, which are the one sail, I think it's one sail boats. If that's where they originally made them, they're still making them today, or back then they were. And was able to go out on one of those. And so, great adventure. I think I was going to put in there if I didn't, the thing about going to Mount Kilimanjaro. All these kind of things on your list. Well, I'd like to do this. So I went to Mount Kilimanjaro. I wanted to get a tour, and the guy goes, when do you want to go? I go, well, I'm going to Lamu tomorrow. I'd like to go today. You know what? You came at the wrong time of the year. Well, what do you mean? He says, well, we can take you up there, but it's all clouded over. You can't, I can get you to the very top. You look around, you'll think you're standing right here. All you're going to see is clouds. You're not going to see anything. Well, I always wanted to go up there. Well, I mean, it didn't take long for me to realize, well, I don't want to say, oh, I was on Mount Kilimanjaro. Yeah, I couldn't see anything. I mean, why? That's not a story. But the story was this. So I didn't do that, but I picked up a brochure they had. And here I live in, I live in Emeryville now, but I grew up in Danville, California. And I look at it and I go, wow, Mount Kilimanjaro is known to be the best view you get for 360 degrees. So I can look over here, I can look over here. It's not the tallest mountain, but as far as being able to see as far as you can, 360 degrees, it's the number one thing. So I can go to Mount Everest, but you're only going to see a little bit because another mountain's in your way, so you're only going to see so much. But I thought, well, that was cool. I wish I could see that. On this brochure that I kept, it said, and the next mountain that has this exact same view, but it's number 2, is Mount Diablo in Danville, California. And I go, wow. Now, I grew up at the base of Mount Diablo. I hiked up there. I caught owls. I caught hawks. I raised red-tailed hawks. I was a nature kid. So I was on top of that mountain. I'd hike up from the bottom all the time, camp up there. But to see that, and they were right. I mean, when you get to the top, you can see Yosemite, you can see Mount Shasta, you can see, it was just unbelievable. Good, looked at it in San Francisco. If you haven't been there, you might want to go there. It might be closer than Mount Kilimanjaro. Check the weather, but anyway. Let's see what I got here. Kiwi, Black Round, Birthday, Milton, I told you about him. So I finally get to this place, and I'm out in the, basically I'm introduced. Glenn's there for the first day, I think, or 2 days. We had meetings with the chiefs and all that stuff, and if you eat some meat, I already told that story, but I don't eat meat, and we still got gold anyway. But everybody leaves, and now I'm there, and I'm sleeping in a little hut, not running water or anything like that. But there's, I had people working for me that would bring you water, for whatever reason. And so I have a flashlight, I have a machete. I didn't bring the shotgun with me. I mean, it was there, I had it, but I just like, that, okay, I don't know. It was there if I need it, I guess. I'm sleeping, I hear this noise on my roof. I go, wow, I hear something. Let me get my flashlight, let me get my machete, let me go out and look. And so I go out, of course it's dark, and I hear this noise, and I flash my light at this, and the most, I'm going to say, scary animal I've ever seen comes running over to the roof, looks down at me like it wants to jump on me from the roof, and then figures out whatever it figures out and just runs away. And it happened so quick. I've never seen it like that. I haven't seen it in the book. I haven't seen it anywhere. I don't know what it was. It was scary, and I guess I scared it. So that was the good news on that one, I guess. Anyway, so I'm starting to get this feeling of, wow, there's things on your roof. There's poisonous snakes. There's, blackwater fever. There's all kinds of stuff. I mean, just keep your eyes open. In fact, don't go to sleep anymore. Just stay awake the rest of the time and see you're not hurt. Which, of course, I couldn't do that, but it crossed my mind. Somebody was telling me, okay, listen, so we're going to be walking out into the jungle and we're doing this stuff. We see snakes all the time. There's all kinds of snakes. Literally. Is that one poisonous? Yeah. Is that one poisonous? Yeah. Sir, they're all poisonous. So you don't ever get bit by a snake. And I think I told you a story about eating the different leaves. And okay, I learned that one, and you put it, okay, who knows? Luckily, I never got bit. But they said, and what you need to know is, as you're walking, snakes are up in the trees. Some of them, some whatever. And they wait for you to come by, and they drop down on you and bite you in the neck. I go, Jesus. I mean, you can't look everywhere. You would not be, I do have arthritis in the neck, and maybe that's how I got it. But I know one thing, I had to look down over here. If I was reaching for something, I mean, you never could stop looking to see if there might be a snake. And now I know there's a snake, a poisonous snake, that likes to see you coming, and they just, not just me, but whatever they want to kill, and they drop down on you. Okay, well, that was, I guess I did see snakes in the trees. I saw them in the branches and all that stuff. Actually, one of the presidents that was assassinated, and I think it was Roberts, but I'm trying to think of if this is how Cayenne Do got into office, because Cayenne Do was the one there when I was there. He got in, he was only 22 years old. How old he was? He came in, he was a sergeant with his group, and they killed that president, and then he became the president. But it's not unusual to have coups and presidents shot and killed, and military people come in, and then it goes from there. But in my travels, I went to this place, and I was told, you got to go there. This is, I think it was, it doesn't matter, Robertson, something like that. Go look and see what he was doing. He had streets with lights on it, and and you could tell it was like very modern, but everything was overgrown. So really, I could see what was there. One thing that was there was a merry-go-round, and it's in the jungle. I'm going, I got to take a picture of it. I get closer, take a picture. I go to reach for something, and a green mamba. This is a light green snake. Looks exactly like the leaves. If I hadn't, I just went, oh, okay, don't, and just took off. I guess I was nervous the whole time I was there. I'm still nervous about it when I think about it, but so many close calls. But I saw this place that was somebody's dream, and they were working on it, and then they got shot and killed, and now it's just a jungle again. A jungle comes in and takes over everything. When I got there to this place, they have a thing called a palava hut. And palava, my understanding is, it's a place where it's in the community, it's in the center of your community, and everybody, if you have a problem, let's go here, let's do palava. What's that? We come in here and discuss, I don't like you. What'd you do that for? I want to tell you this, and maybe we'll have somebody come in to help us do whatever. But there was one in our little compound, but I was tasked, which I didn't know anything about. I needed to build a shortwave radio antenna that had to be 60 feet, I think it was 60 feet tall, and then we were going to hook up the radio so we had communication. When I got there, there was no communication. And I'm trying to think of the person we took this over from was a U.S. senator. But anyway, so that wasn't there, and it's something we needed. Reed, his name was Reed, Senator Reed from Wyoming or somewhere. And that's where Glenn was able to come in and buy whatever he had going on already, and we took that over from them. So I had people that worked for me that could do mechanics, and they could weld, and we got some steel rods, and we put it up 60 feet and put this whole thing together, and literally made an antenna that gave us contact with Monrovia, which was just like a phone. I mean, we didn't have phones back then. And so that was, you'll hear later in my story that, yeah, that came in very handy. And I'm glad I was able to do that. It was kind of cool. Palava Hut, it was the Palava Hut, yeah. So I'm there. Now Glenn leaves, so we do the first thing and then come in and you don't eat the meat, but you're fine, you're going to get gold, and everybody leaves, and I'm there with the shotgun in the closet or whatever. Now I'm going to go out and start seeing people, and what they're doing is they can see me. They're all over the place. They're in the jungles, they're everywhere, and people are getting gold out of the rivers, and it's my job to stop them from, quote, stealing gold from our concession. Our concession was literally 200 square miles. Well, can't be there, can't be over there, can't be over here, but I can do the best I can here, right? And actually there was a guy named T. Johnny that Glenn had introduced me to, very knowledgeable person. T. Johnny would get this and help us do that and do this and that. And so as I started doing this, I was keeping an eye on it, and I'm paranoid about everybody. And I watched him do something. I thought, well, that's unusual. And a little later, I thought, well, that's kind of unusual. And so finally I followed him. And he had a group of people mining for gold on our stuff, taking the money and taking the gold himself and going off and selling it. And I caught him in the middle. He goes, oh, no, I said, I know what you're doing. I'm watching you. I know what you're doing. He goes, well, I had him arrested. Back to, when will I learn? I don't know, probably never. They arrested him. And they put him in a small little cage, dog cage or something. And I go, oh, geez, I know this story. But I had to, I couldn't let him do that. He needed to learn some kind of lesson. And I said, well, what do we do now? And well, he has to go to court. Well, that's back in, at some point, someone's going to come get him and take him down to Monrovia or whatever. I said, okay. But in the meantime, you have to feed him. Okay, I heard this before. You got to feed him. He's got no money. He's got nothing. Because you put him here, you're in charge of him. That sounds very familiar. I brought him food the first day. The second day, I talked to him and I said, are you ever going to do this again? Even if he said yes, I'd say, well, oh, good for you. Get the hell out. I'm not going to come bring you food every day. But he said, no, of course I'll never do that again. So he got out of there. But what I did when I was there, of course, I brought very strong flashlights. People, I could look up and point to things. Nobody would see anything as powerful as this. I bought some very nice binoculars. People there had never seen binoculars. And I recognized I need to kind of get them to know who I am. And so I went down to where they were dredging, and I said, okay, well, I'm no man, and da-da-da. I'm going to go walk over here into the jungle and kind of look around and go, oh, no, not by yourself. I go, yeah, by myself. You guys stay. You guys are working. Stay here. I'm going to go there. And no, we have to go with you. I said, okay, we'll stay here and work. I said, okay, good, because that's what I just said. I cross the river, and I go into the jungle, and now I have had some experience in the jungle, of course, so I got my machete, and I'm moving around, and I go down, and I go quite a ways out, and come back around, and all of a sudden I could look behind me, and I could see they're trying to track me. But I'm ahead of them, and I'm going, okay, you're trying to find me. So I go around, cross the river again, come over, and sit down right where I had been before, where they're supposed to be working, right? And about 5 minutes later, they come out and somebody, how'd you get here? What are you talking about? "Oh, we were looking for you. I told you not to do that." "I know, but we were worried about you." I said, "Okay, well, let me show you something."